So it's been a week now that the new scenario, Grand Live, aka our Grand Concert, has been out on the global server. And so far, the public reception has been pretty mixed, honestly. Even before the scenario came out, veteran players were telling horror stories that this would be even worse than Trackblazer, as if that were even possible. And now that everyone has had a chance to experience the scenario themselves, that sentiment is kinda spreading. Now, there are lots of concerns about the scenario, which honestly are all entirely valid. So today I want to go through all of those various pain points though in the new scenario and try to help shed some light into how to still try and make the best out of this new scenario. Starting things off though, firstly, a very basic breakdown of what Grand Life is that it's a scenario where your run lives and dies by the songs that you get for each of the concerts. The main mechanic is using performance points to buy out various lessons for stat points, and then at different thresholds you can buy out songs. These songs provide instant buffs, but also buffs that take place the next time you have a concert. And the problem is that these songs are not made equal. There are clear-cut better and worse songs. Namely, the friendship training bonus songs and the specialty priority songs are very good, as well as the skill point bonus songs. Now, that's fine though. We've had stuff like this in Trackblazer, where before there were very obviously better or worse items to buy in the shop. However, the problem with Grand Live is that it is a very snowbally scenario in the good sense and also a bad sense. It's not just about getting lucky seeing the right songs, it's also about getting lucky and getting those right songs early, so that you can benefit from their bonuses for more turns over the course of a run. You could have two runs, both at the same point at the end of junior year, with similar training, so similar stat lines, and even similar performance points. But if one of them gets all of the training effectiveness and the specialty priority songs, while the other one just got a bunch of support chain event songs, one run will end up with significantly better stats, while the other just has more chain events appear, I guess. And this is a big reason why people consider this the glue live scenario, because you can kind of already tell if a run is dead or not as soon as junior year December, purely based on knowing what songs you got for that first concert. So early on, a typical run looks like this. You need to hope that you have a high roll on your support cards going to a friendship level, so you can unlock rainbow trainings. And ideally also, you are training on your desired facilities, so speed and wit, because obviously you want to level up those facilities. This is because rainbow trainings and higher level facilities both give you more performance tokens. And then throughout this, you're also hoping to train with Light Hello several times to hope that she gives you plus 20 tokens, which early on is a big bonus. And then by the end of the year, hopefully you have enough tokens to buy something like 4, ideally 5 songs. And then also you have to hope that the songs offered are the 5 songs that you want. All of this RNG and all of this hope in the first 10 minutes of the run. Sounds easy, right? Just hit the lucky run. If only it were that easy. But because of how snowbally this scenario is, yes, you can obviously reach much higher highs in this scenario than any other scenario right now. But on the flip side though, there are much worse low rolls that you would get instead. And these low rolls aren't even just like, it's okay, maybe I can still use them as like a Team Trials UMA, like in other scenarios. No, a Grand Live run on average will look way worse than any average run in any other scenario. So that makes it a lot more disheartening to try and attempt ace runs in Grand Live. Honestly, Grand Live feels like a sort of hard course correction to be the exact opposite of Trackblazer, where instead of non-stop racing, you are now doing non-stop training. Instead of getting mad at coming in 3rd place during a race, you're now getting mad that there's no, rainbow training on a training turn. And instead of a random shop where you sort of just buy stuff as it appears, you now have to micromanage the hell out of the shop RNG, or in this case, the song RNG. But that's fine though. A good way to mitigate the song RNG is just to be able to buy as many songs as possible. Easy, right? Just buy out everything, then you don't have to worry about RNG. Like I said, the best possible junior year is if you're able to buy all of the training effectiveness and all of these specialty priority songs. But in order to do that, you need to get a lot of performance points. And in order to get a lot of performance points, you need to get a lot of good trainings. Good trainings means rainbow trainings, since they give 2 types of performance points, as well as, again, training on high-level facilities. At the end of the day, much like any other scenario, it all boils down to just get good trainings. But because of all of this though, you'll notice that a lot of decks are really only focusing on just speed and wit cards, alongside Light Hello of course, and opting to rather just get stamina purely from sparks alone. This is so that you're training on your desired facilities more often so they level up sooner, so you get more points from them sooner, and also you're hoping to stack those big rainbows for like triple or double rainbow turns. Now, yes, you can run a stamina card, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are even doing that just to make sure they hit the stamina threshold for the upcoming CM. It just kinda sucks to know that when you click that stamina rainbow, even though you probably do need it, that level 2 stamina click could have been a level 5 speed click instead. And forget about the extra stats that you would have gotten. Yes, more speed, more power could have been cool and all of that. Instead now though, it feels bad because you're getting something like 40 less total performance points probably, which could mean one fewer lesson, which could mean one less song, which could mean that you miss out on a big 10% friendship training effectiveness bonus. So now you see the snowbally effect of every single choice here, and probably you see now why people have been pining for those stamina sparks, so that they don't have to do these awkward level 1 facility single rainbow clicks outside of summer. Clicking anything other than speed and wit kind of feels poopy doo-doo from a purely performance token standpoint. And again, this isn't even taking into account getting lucky with Light Hello to be alongside those trainings, handing out 20 extra points, and also, increasing the training effectiveness and reducing the energy costs. So like I said, because of all of this, runs die faster than ever before in any other scenario. And for a lot of people, this is bad because you're probably relying on your very limited 5 borrows per day. Maybe you're making a frontrunner and you need that Saiyan Sky Inherit, or maybe you need that 9-star stamina parent to hit that threshold that you want. Wasting those precious borrows on runs that die before even making it to the first inspiration is quite disheartening. Thankfully for the Saiyan Sky point, she has been recently added to the daily legend races, so I highly recommend that you do spend your daily attempts trying to unlock her there so you aren't restricted to borrowing her. And also, thankfully, the recent implementation of the auto training has made it quote-unquote easier to make parents, in the sense that you can spam more runs trying to fish for the sparks that you want. So honestly, I highly recommend everyone try to find those 9-star stamina parents that you make yourself, especially with the bonus of it being half TP, so you can spam more runs. Instead of using borrows to make aces that die in 10 minutes, why not try instead to use those borrows to make good parents of your own, so that you are not reliant on borrows in your Grand Live runs. Yes, I know it's easier said than done to get good parent sparks, but once you have them though, and you're no longer reliant on borrows, you can glue runs to your heart's content trying to fish for that one god run in Grand Live. Having a good set of parents for yourself in Grand Live is going to be way better than just, hitting one good ace Uma that may or may not even win in the end of the day. Then some other things that aren't necessarily issues with Grand Live itself, but rather what makes it a bit of a victim of circumstance is that the current upcoming CM is a dirt medium track. One where we need a pretty significant amount of stamina. Not just because of the distance, but also because of the fact that it is a medium dirt track, so not many easily built Umas are available, which means that a pretty significant amount of people might resort to using debuffers, specifically stamina debuffers. This just pushes the expected stamina that you might need even higher. And again, in a scenario where you're not really wanting to train anything other than speed and wit, it does feel kinda bad. Like, if this were another sprint CM, I'm sure we'd all be having a blast in the new scenario because we could just completely ignore a stat and then just go all in on wit and speed, taking advantage of that shiny new 1600 speed cap. But unfortunately, not only now for this upcoming CM, but several of the CMs that will occur during Grand Live are medium or long distance races, which means that stamina is going to be a problem. Hence why I said that you should really look into getting some 9-star stamina sparks of your own, because this will be an ongoing issue throughout the scenario. Now that being said though, there is nothing wrong with including a stamina card in your deck. Yes, I did say it feels bad to do so, but you know what else feels bad? Having your Uma die because she doesn't have enough stamina. It is okay, you can drop one wit card for a stamina card. Now I know what you're thinking, but how will I hit my wit threshold with only one wit card? To which I say, what exactly are you aiming for with wit? We've become a bit spoiled now in past scenarios where it felt like if you didn't have 1100 wit, you'd call your Uma stupid and brainlet. Now, you have to remember though, if there is a stat that you should be okay with dropping, it should be wit, not stamina. We are in a time where it's kind of difficult to easily hit that speed cap while also getting good stamina to survive, and this is not the first time this has happened. If you were around and you remember the first few CMs of the game when it first came out a year ago, that first long CM in URA, we were running around with like 450 wit and we were happy with that, because at least we knew we had enough speed and stamina to survive. The same can now be said for Grand Live and wit in this instance. One wit card, sure it may not be the best, but as long as you're still able to hit that stamina threshold now, that's fine. Remember, it's diminishing returns. Something like 800 or 900 wit is still okay. The other unfortunate thing that is making Grand Live kind of feel icky is the fact that we are not coming to it from Trackblazer, but instead we are coming to it from Unity 2.0, which in the original Japanese timeline was only meant to come out after Grand Live had already been deployed. deployed, I guess released. And in comparison, Unity 2.0 felt amazing in terms of training RNG. All of your training facilities leveled up together, so everything was level 5 by senior year. There was never really a quote-unquote bad training turn, where right now, you could have a turn where there's no rainbows, so that kind of sucks. So you're losing out on like 40, maybe 50 training points, which kind of screws up the entire run. Meanwhile, back in Unity, if there was no rainbow, that's fine. There was probably still bursts that you could work on, or maybe even there were bursts you could use to just get extra chunks of stats. And you could easily get good stamina from simply just clicking a burst on stamina every now and then. Now that being said though, although Unity undoubtedly feels more fun because of how easy it is to get a usable stat line, a high-rolled Grand Life Uma will still be better than a really good Unity Uma. And that's kind of the point though. No one cares about the 99 consistently good Umas that you can make in Unity if all of them get beaten by that one perfect Grand Live Uma. So again, it's all about how many bodies can you throw at Grand Live until you get that good run, which again is made better if you make your own parents, so you aren't reliant on 5 borrows per day. But that's kind of the main point about Grand Live. Yes, it is very volatile and snowbally. Yes, you will glue a lot of runs early on. Yes, it's gonna suck to have so many longer distance CMs during this time period. And yes, Unity probably was more fun. Now, I can't really give advice on how to fix these issues for you personally. It's more of a mental thing. But the best advice I can give is to honestly just come to accept these facts and, be ready to glue a lot of runs. It's normal. It is expected. That's what the scenario is about. That is the nature of the scenario. But again, making parents will probably help this mentality a lot, because I think you'll have a better time when you can scrap a run and say, that's okay, I'll just try again when I have enough TP. Instead of going, well damn, I can't believe I wasted a borrow on this, and now there's only 4 days left, which means only 20 more attempts to make an ace. Personally, I'm kinda ambivalent on the new scenario. I'm not exactly calling it the best thing ever, because again, Unity was probably more fun, but I don't necessarily hate this scenario. Maybe because in a weird silver lining, the fact that you can tell a run is dead so early on kinda helps you save time in a way. Instead of doing a full 50-minute Trackblazer run all the way to the end, constantly hoping to yourself, maybe Summer saved this, maybe Senior Inspiration saved this, maybe the Senior Summer saves this. You can instead see the run is not going anywhere very early on and then give up within 10 minutes and save yourself from sitting through the humiliation ritual of another 40 minutes of a run. But what about your thoughts on the new scenario though, now that we've had a week with it? And how are you feeling for the upcoming CM that's just about 1 week away? Let me know down in the comments below, but otherwise until next time, I hope we can all have a good time in our grand concert. Or at least, stick it out until Grandmasters comes out in the 2nd anniversary. But until next time though, bye bye.